I just want to know why it's so fucking hard to get a job, man. In 2025, it is literally impossible, bro. When you do, you get 7 rounds of interviews for some reason, man. Just for them to go with another candidate. You cannot find the job in 2025. It is literally impossible, and I keep crashing out about it. How the are we ever gonna find a job? Why is it so fucking hard, man? It should never be this fucking hard. I swear, bro.
Jesus. Young man is crashed out. I don't even blame him. Obviously, Doge going out here and cutting off jobs. Meta has been laying off people. Amazon. Federal workers are out there being laid off left and right. IRS staff members. So it's like we're having an influx of a lot of people into the market. And it's going to make it much more harder to even compete and get a job. As long as corporations are always focusing on trying to make sure that stakeholders are making the most amount of money, they're going to find ways to cut waste, inefficiency, low performers. It's just all about that. The new administration promised that there was going to be more job opportunities, but then as we come to the first, this is already now the end of the second month, it's already looking this bad. One reason I'm leaving this hellhole soon, the quality of life in this country or the West in general has decreased so much, sick of it. The job market is bad. It's taking people months, even years to get a job, which is insane.
So today something happened. My boss sent me a text and asking me if I got a meeting invite for 9 a.m. this morning. Then we met, and then there's been like a lot of changes in our business. Then she said, unfortunately, your job has been impacted as well. So after 19 official years, 2 years as a temp, so 21 years at my company, I am officially laid off. And it was a shock, but it is an opportunity now because I feel like everything happens for a reason, and God puts us in places where might seem like we're uncomfortable, but it's because you need to move. So I'm excited about my future. I'm happy and grateful for the 21 years at my old company. We'll see how it goes for me.
Damn, Auntie, 21 years? We wish you all the best, honestly, but 21 years in one company? That's diabolical. I don't even stay loyal for regular brands that I wear, even clothing or even products. You definitely know she wasn't making bread, because the chances of you making a lot of money by staying in the same company is very low, because the most they can give you is like 2 to 3%, if that. The secret is to switch jobs every 2 to 3 years so that you can get a better increase in your wage. That's how they treat loyalty? That's crazy. Job security does not exist. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, yo, these companies ain't loyal, but it's already known. But I don't know why people are afraid to come to the realization that you need to be moving. You need to be leveling up your skill. You need to be adapting to the change that's happening in the market. You know, they just told her with the recent changes, her position got impacted. That meant that, you know, they could easily automate that process, or they might see that they don't need that department anymore. Hey, just out of curiosity, what is like a sufficient or adequate time for someone to stay in a current role? How long would you stay in your current role before you decided to switch?
So I think I'm being laid off from my job today. If you couldn't tell by my appearance, I have been crying all morning. I haven't even had my meeting yet, but I got a calendar meeting today from someone I've never spoken to at the company, and a bunch of other people did too. So I am recording this because I feel like a lot of people can probably find comfort in knowing they're not alone.
Why?
So we will see. Maybe it'll be something positive. Maybe I'm not getting laid off, but I am shaking.
That does impact your position. Today is going to be your last day.
I've loved my time here, and I'm very thankful for it, so I appreciate it.
Man.
I did not think that that would be my last day. My laptop's not even working anymore for me to like save things. Like,
Firstly, recording it is crazy. I would not even try putting this online. And hear me out. If you're trying to go to another company after this, and let's say they did some digging on you and they happen to see a video of you posting your layoff, I don't know if that's something they would like to see. I don't know. Some people might care, some people might not. I just don't think it's a good look to have like a digital footprint that shows this. However, it is very sad to see that this is what's happening. And to be honest with you, when you get laid off, man, boy, it feels like your whole identity is attached to that role. And then when you finally, the the blinders are taken off. You don't even know what to do with yourself. It feels like the whole world is coming to an end. You're starting to wonder like where you're gonna get money from, how you're gonna afford rent. And honestly, it's best to always prepare for things like this, because especially now with the uncertainty happening in the economy, people very concerned about the government, layoffs happening, AI being implemented in several different roles. You have so many factors that are just gonna keep you on edge. I would not be comfortable. You know, do something on the side, but don't be sitting there holding on to this one role and expect that, you know, you're gonna be safe.
Y'all, I'm so tired because do you remember how last week Meta fired 5% of their staff claiming that they were low performers? And now, not even 2 weeks later, executives are going to be getting bonuses of up to 200% of their base salaries.
What?
They're saying that this is based on what is competitive across their peer organizations, and it's up from about 75% bonuses last year. And they said that this is meant to motivate their executives to focus on the top company priorities and reward them for company results and achievements.
By firing people.
But here's what doesn't make sense to me. Meta claims that they had thousands of low performers running around. And if these executives allowed low performers to be on their team for months on end without doing anything about it, then how are they so high performing? How are they getting results that are so exceptional that they warrant a 200% bonus? Because I'll tell you, as a manager, I can't afford to have low performers on my team. When someone is not performing on my team, I'm going to put them on an improvement plan and I'm going to exit them. Because I can't do my job, I can't get my results when I have low performers working under me. So how are these executives excelling when they had thousands of low performers running around this company that none of them were doing anything about? And of course, the big part of it is that this wasn't just about performance.
It wasn't.
Because Business Insider talked to people who had ratings of at or above expectations, and yet they were still exited. According to a member of their people business team, it turns out that managers had to cut a certain percentage of their team regardless of performance. So that meant they had to exit some people who were in those higher performance tiers. So the more you look at this, the more it looks like a regular old layoff. They needed to exit some people so they could free up those salaries so that they could hire machine learning engineers, which is where they want to put more energy. They didn't just exit their low performers. They looked at the functions where they needed less people and decided to reallocate that headcount. Yet all of these people lost their jobs. All of them got publicly labeled low performers, and now they're going to have a harder time finding their next job. And this is why, as someone who works in recruiting and someone who's in a management role and gets to hire for my own team from time to time, I will say you always need to do your own research. You always need to question the narratives that are.
If you get fired and it's a label low performance, when you go to find another job, is that label attached to you saying that you're a low performer? Because I would hate for that to be the cause when the whole intention was to actually just give bonuses to executives. You know, you can always lie, but what if the company need references? What if they ask you for people who they can able to cross-reference with what you're saying and see that if it's the truth? You pretty much just kill the person's opportunity for employment right there. That they're trying to make sure that they take care of their bottom line. If Meta used low performance as a reason to fire people this time, I wonder what the excuse will be the next time. I work in compensation and those executive bonuses are extremely high. Imagine making $700,000 a year and your bonus percentage is target of 50%. Yeah, they had to cut people to get those bonuses. Ruthless.
Released today show that the U.S. housing market and job market both showed signs of trouble, with home sales falling to their lowest level on record and jobless claims rising higher than expected. Here's what you need to know. Home sales hit a low in January. It was a tough month. Ridiculously high mortgage rates and rising home prices made buying a home an unachievable goal for working class people. Pending home sales, which track signed contracts for existing homes, fell by almost 5% from December and hit their lowest level since 2001. Affordability remains the biggest issue. Mortgage rates are now above 7%, making it harder for buyers to even afford homes. While home prices have started to ease in some areas, they are still way higher than last year. Meanwhile, the job market also took a hit. Unemployment claims rose to 242,000, up from 22,000 from the previous week.
Damn.
This is the highest number of claims since October 2024. One major factor is all the job cuts from the Trump administration and Elon's Department of Government Efficiency, which has already cut tens of thousands of government jobs, and more layoffs are expected. In Washington, D.C., new unemployment claims jumped 26% in a week. While home sales are struggling and jobless claims are rising, other economic indicators are mixed. Orders for durable goods like airplanes, appliances, and computers jumped 3.1% in January, suggesting businesses may be preparing for future growth. However, inflation remains a concern, with prices still rising at a steady pace, making everyday items more unaffordable. With high interest rates, job cuts happening, and tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China set to take effect in March, the worst of the economic pain is yet to come.
That kid who was crying in the beginning of the video, I feel sorry for him now because with every other person coming into the market, think about it. You have federal workers, you have people working in IT, people working in all of these big corporations. With all of their good skills that they have now flooding the market, imagine how hard it is going to be to compete. Especially if you're an entry-level person, you just graduated, you're trying to get a job. Oh my God, forget it. Because you're going to be dealing with someone who has like maybe 10 times the experience, a senior level management. And with businesses experiencing intense pressure coming from all these tariff talks, the amount of jobs that are going to be available is going to be super limited. And here's the truth, even if you had several degrees and everything under the sun, it doesn't even matter if you had to even train with a Shaolin monk to get a degree. You'll still not have an easy chance of getting a job. That's how bad things are.
Okay, so I live in the Washington, D.C. area. I've now been living here for almost 2 years, which is crazy to say. I moved here like right after I graduated college. I was working at a nonprofit for like a year. I got laid off last year in May, and I've been looking for a job ever since. So May 2024, it's now February 2025. This job hunt, I think, has been the most dehumanizing experience I've ever had in my life. I think I've applied to probably like 500, 600 jobs, and probably even more than that, honestly. I don't even know how many jobs I've applied to.
Jesus.
And I just don't understand, like, what am I missing? I have a degree. I've double majored. I had 3 internships in college. I have a year's worth of experience. I, had a good GPA. Like, what am I doing wrong? And also with, Elon and Donald, laying off a bunch of government workers, and I live in the DC area, I'm competing with them now. So I'm just lost. I would love any suggestions, tips. I'm over it.
How are you even surviving a whole year? It's either the market is extremely tough, which I can understand, or you might have to start moving out of that city, bro. You might have to move out of that state. And if you're on EI, by now you don't probably run out of your money right there. This year, if you don't have multiple skills, you're gonna be at a hard position to make it out in life, man. You're single, just bought a house, went into credit card debt to furnish the house, and you got laid off? Oh, hell no.
Hello.
Hey, Simon, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Hey, thanks for making time on short notice and sure my invite was rambling and not awesome, and you do not have to turn your camera on if you don't want to. I have a couple of notes to share with you.
Oh.
But
I know what that means.
So I'll be glad to have those notes to make sure I cover things, but I will also follow up with an email so you don't have to retain everything I'm going to say. I made the difficult decision to restructure the XD org, and as a result, reduce the size of the org, and unfortunately, you're impacted by this change. So your last working day is today, but the good news is you'll be paid through February 2nd.
That's good news?
Yeah, those are the most important pieces of information.
Are there any reasons other than just like restructuring? Like, what's the reason for the restructuring?
That's a really good question. It has to do with the company is doing consolidated priorities this year and next year. They are looking to, so the org, it has nothing to do with performance. It has nothing to do with location and everything to do with the company wanting to do less in tech and take on less priorities. And as a result, the team is being reduced for that to support that. Imagine
a place where you've dedicated literally 8 hours every day, 40 hours a week for the past 5 to 10 to 20 years for some. And then that one day it's like, I think we have decided to let you go. It's like tough. It's like the end of a relationship where you thought things were all nice and rosy, and then they end up telling you, listen, it's not you, it's me. Shut the fuck up! Where is this coming from? Especially someone like her who now has a mortgage and credit card debt for the house and now doesn't have an income and is a single person is tough.
Brutal unemployment numbers just in. Last week, unemployment claims rose much higher than anticipated. I know what you're going to say. We all expected unemployment claims to rise given all the mass firings that are taking place right now, but these go far above and beyond the official estimates from economists. An estimated 242,000 jobless claims were filed, which is 22,000 more than the previous week's total. You see these numbers continuing to rise. This is far above economists' expectations of 220,000 claims, and this is likely just the beginning. This news comes as Donald Trump continues to purge federal employees from their jobs and implement tariffs that threaten major American industries.
That's just a lot of people to flood the market. Like, to fire? Dang. Let me know what your thoughts are. I mean, leave your comments down below about, you know, some of the people we've watched. What is the likely situation going to happen now moving forward? This is a very sad time. You know, I hope things actually work out for the better. But if you like the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.